first card you have for your past is the Hierophant. Okay, what I'm getting here is it really feels like someone's trying to come close to you, or they want to come close to you, even if they're not trying. That's what they're thinking. It's this energy of, I want to come close, I want to come close. And I'm getting this phrase in my mind, that ship's passed. So obviously that means that you are not interested. It's like that ship's passed. So that's kind of what I'm getting there. I think maybe a while ago you might have been, the ship might not have passed. You might have been okay with talking to them, or even just hearing what they have to say. But yeah, I just think so much has happened between you. And I just think, it just feels to you like, oh, do I want to go through that again with them? Do I want to talk to them again? It actually feels like, do I want to drag myself through that again? Very, very bad. So it's like, oh, it just feels like a drag. It feels like, oh, I would have spoken to them once, but after everything that's happened, it just feels like a big drag. So, yeah, I think you've given them lots of chances, actually. I think you gave them many, lots and lots and lots. You tried, you really did. I'm really I'm picking up on a real, a lack of respect here. And I think in saying no to them, in saying no more, it's just you're standing your ground, and it's almost like you're drawing a fence around yourself. It's like a fence of respect. This is my fence of respect. I'm drawing this around myself, and you're not coming close because you're not giving me that respect. That's what I'm seeing. And the sad thing is, I think you did have deep feelings for this person at one time, and there was a lot of conflict here, and I think there was a lot of conflict going on inside you as well, because you did have these feelings. You still might have some feelings there maybe for them, just a little bit. That doesn't mean you want them back, but if this is you, yeah, it just feels like now you're saying, no, I'm going to put this fence around myself. And I'm not letting my feelings rule things anymore. I'm going to let logic rule, and logic's telling me that this is not right for me. So this fence going around, and I'm in charge now. I'm in control now. That's what I'm getting here. Really feels like that. Really good to see. And you know what? I think they have this idea that, I think they still do. They have this idea that they're still going to be able to connect with you again. I'm getting a lot of arrogance around here, I have to say. I'm really feeling that. Maybe they think, oh, after a bit of talking, I'll get to talk to them and they'll open up again, they'll talk to me again. That's the kind of thing I'm getting. Very arrogant feel. They might not be, I know cross-watchers will be angry with me and everything, but that's what I'm getting here. I'm really feeling that. And that's what this lack of respect is. It's this arrogance, and you're drawing a line around that and you're saying no. And I think they're feeling that. I think they feel that closed off, that closed off energy coming from you. They really do. Because if you look at this card, these two monks, they're sitting in front of this Hierophant and they want to get up to where he is. And usually what they do is they sit there and they listen to the Hierophant and they're studying. He's teaching them, they're learning, and they're learning because they want to get up to another level. They want to get up closer to where he is. But there are these two keys in front of this Hierophant, and something has to be unlocked first for them to get through. And the unlocking traditionally in the Hierophant is knowledge. So they have to unlock the knowledge, they have to know all the knowledge before they can get up to the next level. And if you look at the actual Hierophant himself, he's got his ears covered. So I think no matter how you're feeling, you're not going to want to open up. The key is not going to open you up, and you're going to have your ears covered and you're not listening. So that's what I'm getting in that card. Okay, so the next card you have your past is the Queen of Cups. Okay, so I'm going to talk about these two cards together, this and the Death card, because I'm seeing a sequence between these two. Okay, so with this Queen of Cups, she's sitting there, she's all in her emotions. So I think they do miss you. I think they miss you. I think they want to talk to you because they do miss you. Now, from what I'm seeing here on this card, it looks like they're alone. And it looks like they're alone in their feelings. I don't think they're saying anything to you right now anyway. They probably will at some time, or they'll try to. And I don't think they've told other people how they're feeling either, or maybe they haven't told anyone about this. Because this Queen's very, very alone in her feelings. She has a lid on her cup, so she's putting a lid on her feelings. She's keeping it to herself. And yeah, I think they might be thinking about how they're going to approach you. Maybe they're strategizing, they're thinking about everything all by themselves, just sitting, thinking about this. Yeah, I'm in two minds about this because I think they have changed up to a certain point, actually. I'm feeling a lot of regret around them, and yeah, I think they've probably spent a lot of time by themselves. And yeah, all this thinking that they've been doing, it has changed them. It's changed them up to a point. It's shaped them up to a certain point. Because I'm just looking at these pebbles around the Queen's feet, and they're round, obviously they're smooth, round, all of that. And they're like that because, you know, after years and years of having this water rushing over them, it smoothed the pebbles out over time. And water obviously represents emotions. So this time that they've had to think to themselves and be in their emotions and have all those emotions kind of wash over them, that's changed them. It's softened them up to a point. But I have to say this, I still keep on getting this arrogance, no matter what it says on this card. I know I shouldn't do this, but that's the feeling I'm getting. I can't help it. I keep on getting this arrogance, this kind of, oh, if I keep trying, they'll say yes eventually. All I have to do is keep trying. They'll fall eventually. It's that kind of thing I'm getting. So they do have emotion and they have changed up to a point, but I'm still getting that arrogance. That's what I'm getting. So that's why I'm in two minds, because I've got what I'm seeing here and I've got what I'm feeling here, two different things. And I think that happened to you, actually. I think when you were with them, you were seeing one thing and feeling another thing, and they weren't matching up. So I'm probably going through that kind of thing on a very, very tiny scale compared to you right now. So yeah, with the Death card, what that's telling me is it's that you're probably going to say no. I'm seeing that again because I don't know when this is going to be when you say no, but you know, it might be that you start talking to them again, and then after a while you realise it's not what you want, or you know, it might be that you just say no right away. You just take one look at them and say no. It might be that, but you know, whenever that is or whatever happens, the Death card's final. So that no is a final no. So once you say no, that's it. It's final. So that's what I'm getting in all those cards. So I hope that makes sense to someone. Okay, so the first card you have for your present is the Seven of Cups, yes. Very, very confusing card. It can be about choices. I am seeing love around you. New love, different love, not this ex. I'm seeing someone else around you. It's either one person around you, or you might have other choices in love. Someone else is around you. Now, obviously, this person in the Hierophant, they either don't realise that, or they do and they still think they have a chance with you anyway. And if that's the case, again, that confirms my arrogance theory. If someone thinks they can hurt someone and still have a chance with them, that's bad enough. But if someone thinks they have a chance with someone when they're with someone else, that's even worse. That's like massive arrogance to me, I have to say. That's what I'm getting, and this is kind of confirming that. So, but yeah, of course, with arrogance, there's always a fall that comes with that. You know, pride comes before a fall. That's the old saying. So if this person's really arrogant, there's some kind of fall coming to them. And that's what I'm seeing in this Death card. You know, they're going to come up against a brick wall. You're going to say no, and that's final. So I think that's where the fall might be, or it might be something else. Now, okay, there's something else here I'm getting. Yeah, I'm just seeing sudden clarity. Sudden clarity. It's like everything's all muddled, which is what this card's about, all mixed up, very confusing. And then it becomes suddenly clear to you. It's like, oh, it's clear all of a sudden. That's what I'm getting. Okay, so something's going to be revealed. There's a conversation here. Yeah, I think you're about to have some kind of conversation at some time soon. It feels like a love connection, and maybe that's why I was seeing new love in this card, because it feels like that. It doesn't have to be, but it feels like that to me. So if you're with someone in love, there's a conversation that's going to happen and it's going to have clarity. If you're not, it might be a friend, but I am seeing love here, so that might not apply to you if it is a friend. But yes, I'm getting this really, really strong feeling that someone might be hiding something from you, or they're keeping something quiet. And I think you know this. I think you're feeling this energy of something's not quite right. That's what I'm getting. It's like they're hiding something, or something's not right. I don't know what it is. Now, there's a lot of shame here. I don't know why that is. Shame and embarrassment I'm getting. Shame and embarrassment. So if this is making any sense to you, if you think this is about you, my impression is that whatever this thing is that they're hiding isn't about you. It's not about how they feel about you. It's not about anything you've done. It's nothing about the relationship or the connection. It feels as if this is more about how they think you're going to perceive them if you find out what this is. I hope that makes sense. I actually think this might have something to do with their background, their history. It's something like that, I think. And I think when you have this conversation with them, and you will, it's going to come out, I think you're going to be relieved, actually. You're going to be relieved when you find out what this actually is. Because again, it's not about you. If you look at the man on this card, you know, he's totally in the dark. He's a silhouette, so he's totally in the dark, and you know, he's completely confused. He's got everything in front of him. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to think. But have a look at this cup. It's right in the center, right up the very top, the one that's kind of the central cup in everything. Now, yeah, there's a cloth over it. There's a cloth sitting over the top of this cup, so we can't see what's under the cloth. But obviously, whatever it is, it's something that's quite important, because there's a red light and it's radiating out from whatever's under there. It's not on any of the other cups, just that one. And so sometimes, you know, and sometimes red can be about danger, warning. You know, if you think of a red light flashing on and off, fire, things like that, danger, warning, get out of the way, panic, all that kind of thing. So they have this kind of panic inside them when they imagine having this conversation with you or telling you about this. But, you know, I think when they finally do tell you, your reaction's not going to be anywhere near as bad as what they think. You're going to be quite relieved, actually, because, you know, I think you're probably imagining all kinds of things, like this man. He doesn't know what to think. He's all confused and he's imagining all kinds of things. And I think that's how you are. So, yeah, this is going to be a huge relief for you. And that cloth is going to be lifted up and you'll be able to see what's underneath. And it's going to be a relief. It really, really is. And yeah, I think this conversation's probably going to happen probably over the next few weeks. Just a little warning, it might feel worse for you before the conversation actually happens. What I mean by that is, not just for you, but, well, yeah, probably for you, but if you're in a relationship with this person, it might be in the build up to having this conversation, they might be a little bit more distant from you. They might be a bit grumpy. They might be a bit upset. They might not talk to you very much. They might go off on their own a lot. That kind of thing might happen. If that starts to happen and all of this resonates with you, it's probably because they're gearing up to talking to you. They're going through all these emotions. They're going through all these problems. And that's why they're going through all of that. Because, you know, I was picking up on a lot of shame, embarrassment and all of that. So they're going through all that. I don't think they have anything to be ashamed about, really, but this is about how they feel about this. So, you know, this is about them. So just be aware of this distancing, problems, maybe anger, grumpiness, even going away by themselves sometime, not contact, all of that kind of thing. And, you know, of course, if you're wondering whether something is wrong, that might make you feel even worse. But I'm just warning you that might be what happened in the build up to this, or what happens in the build up to this conversation. And then when the conversation happens, it's going to be a huge relief. So that's what I'm seeing in that card. I hope that makes sense to someone. Okay, so the next card you have your presence, the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, look at this. Difficulty, indecision, up one minute, down the next, all these ups and downs. Should I say this? Should I say that? What will I do? I'm really unsure of myself. I'm all about to topple over. So this is how they'll be feeling, or maybe they are right now. But yeah, again, the communication is probably going to be a lot slower, maybe a bit more closed off, quite difficult. It's going to feel quite difficult, I think. And so yeah, there's frustration until this actual conversation happens. It might be that you start feeling this frustration and this distance, and you start to say, talk to me, what's happening, what's wrong, tell me what's going on. And the conversation might come out of that. I don't know, it might not. But yeah, when they talk to you, when it finally happens, it's just going to feel huge relief. It's like a dam breaking. Huge relief. So that's what I'm getting there. So, okay, so the last card you have for your present is the horrible Nine of Swords. So, okay, I know I keep talking about this situation, but it keeps on coming up. And if something keeps coming up, it's because someone has to hear this. It's on someone's mind, it's troubling them, and the message has to go out to that person to let them know what's going on. So I'm going to talk about this if I keep on seeing the same situation. So yeah, there's something they've been carrying around for a long time, maybe a year, maybe longer than that. And because this woman's obviously very distressed, she's having nightmares, she's worried about this. Now, if you look at this bed, you probably can't see it. I'm going to move it up so you can see. Okay, so it's a wooden bed that this woman's sleeping on, and there's a hand-carved image of someone being stabbed underneath that. Not really my choice of bedroom decor, I have to say. But anyway, it's underneath her, it's under her. So whatever's happened to this person, or whatever they've done, or whatever's happened, it's happened in their past. It's behind them, it's beneath them, because this is beneath this woman, and that's what's making her worry. And it's like they've tried to push this down under them, push this down. They've tried to ignore this, but they haven't been able to do that, and it keeps on popping up, and they push it down again under the bed, under the surface. When you hide things under the bed, if someone comes over and you go, oh gosh, what a mess, I have to hide it under the bed. So they've kind of pushed it all down under the bed. And it obviously hasn't worked for them, because it's really stressing them out. And it's really heartbreaking to see something like this, and it's almost become a cage for them. Look at these swords. It looks like they're forming a cage around this poor woman. So, when this all comes out, it's not just you that's going to be relieved, it's them as well. It's going to be a huge relief for them, because they're carrying around this big burden. They're finally going to drop this, and it's going to be really amazing for both of them. Sorry, both of you and them, I'm trying to say. Okay. So I'll go on with the next card, which is the future card, which is the Three of Wands. Okay, so I'm seeing a bit of a sequence here as well. I'm looking at all of these three cards down here. Now I'm going to talk about all three of these cards together. I'm not speaking very clearly, I know. So I'll just tell you what I'm seeing with all of these cards. Big sequence here. Looks very good, looks very positive. There's a work situation I'm getting here. Now, it is work, but it feels like more than work. It feels as if this, I don't know if this is going to make any sense to you, but it feels like this work thing, or whatever this is, it belongs to you. So it might be that you're handcrafting something, that you're making something, that you're building something. It might be a business. It might be something that's really central to you and who you are. That's what I'm getting there. Now, I think in this past year, it's been a starting point for you with this. So I think you started on this thing, and again, it feels like it's yours. I keep on getting this. It's your thing. It's personal. It's yours. And you really wanted to progress with this, but I think the progression's been a little bit slow for you this year. There's a lot of confidence around you, so it's not that you have a lack of confidence. I'm not getting that. I think you've always known that you'll do well in this. You've always had this feeling, and that, you know, this is going to do something, this is going to go somewhere for you. And, you know, I think you're right in that. You're absolutely right in that. But this year's been quite slow. It's been quite frustrating for you. That's what I'm getting. You've worked really, really hard to get to where you actually are now, even though you're not where you want to be. I can see that. Because, you know, this man's at the top of this hill. He's right at the top of a hill. And, you know, he wouldn't have had a car in those days to get to that hill. He would have had to climb up this mountain to get to where he is. So you've done the hard work. You've climbed up the mountain. You're up there. Now there's more work to come in front of you. I'm not going to pretend there isn't. And, you know, I don't think you mind that. You know, you're happy to do the work. It's just that you want the rewards to come in a bit faster. And I understand that. So, but what I'm seeing coming up for you in the new year is, and it's coming up quite early on in the new year actually, maybe February, March, there's an idea coming up for you. Now, this is really, really different, really unusual, very unique. You know, this Hanged Man, he's just holding back, he's not going forward, he's not moving to where he wants to be, he's just kind of, you know, hanging there. But he's got this light bulb around his head. He's got this idea, and that's the idea that's going to give you this breakthrough that's in this Sun card. Because, you know, there's a wall behind this child in the Sun card, and that's the breakthrough. The child's broken through the wall, come into the sun, come into, you know, the happiness and all of that, and the freedom and everything like that. So that's what this work or this business breakthrough or whatever this is going to feel like for you. You're going to come out of that breakthrough, and then the success is going to start coming in quite quickly for you. Quite early on next year, I'm seeing that starting to happen for you. But I'm just getting a little message here for you as well. Try and relax a bit more. I'm not saying stop working, because I can see, you know, you're a hard worker and that's what you want to do with this, and you like this as well. But, you know, if you're in the grind all the time and you've got your nose down, your head down, you're in the grind, you haven't got your head up, you're not seeing what's happening, you're not letting the ideas come in. It's only when you relax, you know, and you give yourself that time, that's when these really good ideas come into you and they come through to you. So just a little warning that I'm seeing here, relax a little bit more in the first half of next year, and that's when that idea is going to come in, and that's what's going to let you go forward a bit quicker, and that frustration is going to end. And that's what that wall is: end to frustration, breakthrough, and then positivity after that.